Well, hello. Well, hello. Well, hello. Thought I'd give this a try. My name is Nicholas, and welcome to my live stream here on YouTube. This is what I'm going to be calling the Daily Fly Tying Bench Diary. Basically, I'm exploring the option of sharing what I do on a full-time basis, and that is making furry hooks, tying flies, dressing hooks, and all that sort of fun stuff. And I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to enjoy my journey. So, yeah, let's hop right into it. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm working on some orders. These are orders that we have sold on eBay. And if you want to look us up on eBay, you can do so by going to Village Tackle and just do a search on eBay for store name Village Tackle, and you'll be able to find us. I think I have a link on our website, dressedhooks.com, and of course, if you're looking for the best deals, I'm just going to be very open and honest and tell you that those really good best deals are always going to be at kind of get over there, and hopefully we can find something that will suit your needs. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm working, like I said, working on an order for eBay. These are dressed teaser flies, and I'm using natural deer hair, and this is the tail, bucktail. And as you can see, what I like to do is I like to build up the white, because white is kind of more of a predominant color, and quite honestly, it's the one we have the most of. So it's good. White, you can never go wrong. And then I'm going to add some pink right on top, just a little bit of a splash of color. Nothing wrong with that. And as you can see, I'm just turning it around. And turning it around. There you go. So, a lot of time, you're not going to be seeing me do anything in this video of gluing as of yet, maybe down the road. But basically what I end up doing is I make all these flies or make all these dressed hooks, and then in big bulk, and then I go back through and glue them all as one lump time, if that makes sense. So we tie a bunch of hooks first, and then the second process we go through is we glue them all at once. So just part of being efficient, part of knowing the process, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you're commenting on this video, I apologize. I'm not able to see any of the chat, so I really I really apologize. But if you got any questions, always leave some comments or something like that in our videos, or like I said, just reach out to me at our website's villagetackle.com, or you can always go over to dresshooks.com and send us a message. And if there's something you'd like to see, something you want to hear more about, I'll be happy to share that with you. I'm thinking about just going maybe an hour tying these teaser flies, maybe a little bit less, but be somewhere around an hour, so you'll kind of get the feel of what it's like to see production of doing this for a living, or doing this as an art form. I get a lot of questions, and that's one thing I'm going to be talking about, is a lot of people wonder what I do, and so I get a lot of questions, if this is my only job, or if this is a side hustle or side business. And so I'm hoping that these daily videos will show that this is what I do full time, and enjoy every aspect of it. And this is something that I like to share and inspire others, that if you're thinking about doing this as a hobby, or if you are doing this as a hobby and you're thinking about going full time and wanting to do this as a professional and do it on a commercial level, it can be done. And I've been pretty successful at doing this up to, I think this is the year number going on 15, 16, somewhere around there. But I didn't start out that way. I started out really small, and have built up a relatively good clientele now. So, but yeah, you can always, like I said, ask me those questions. I'd be happy to share what I can. Let's see. The thread that I'm using is a 210 denier thread, and it's a Danville wax. I prefer the wax in this situation, or in this case, and I prefer the 210 for the strength, because I can pull down on the thread and it not break as much or as hard. It does break, but I can really reef on that thread and it not cause a problem. So I like to use a 210 for that. When I get into the smaller hooks, or even in the treble hooks, I'll switch to a smaller size hook, or not hook, but rather smaller size diameter thread, like maybe a 70 denier, or I will switch to maybe a 60 thread. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just counting out 20 hooks. So I got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And there you have it. Wait for it. They're in the box and they're all, there we go. 20. So we got 20 hooks. These are 4/0 Seaguard hooks. And what I'm going to do is switch over to chartreuse and white. Like I said, I'm doing this for an order on our eBay selling channels. And just, yeah, it's kind of fun. So pull out some chartreuse. You may be wondering where I get my deer hair from. Let's see if I can put this on the camera so everybody can see it. Is it right? Yeah, I gotta do this backwards. So we use large northern bucktail chartreuse from Hairline. That is the the best hair that I think I can find. I know there's other companies and other people and businesses and so forth that like to dye their own. I do not dye our hair. I just don't find a good value for me to invest my time and energy in doing that. So people that do it, and that's more power to you. You know, I'm glad you do it, but quite frankly, it's just a process that I don't really want to get into. Just too time consuming. So, so I buy all the deer hair already dyed, and I usually buy the good quality. I like using the hairline product because the dye that comes or the dye that they put into the tails or wherever they get them from, I think it holds up better than some of the other companies I bought dyed deer tails from. They just seem to really fade out, and fingers, the dye colors get on your fingertail deer hair. I'm going to be switching over to another product by Krennic Fly Tying Supplies, and I went and actually visit their factory, their little storefront place, and I was pretty impressed with just because it flows better through my hand, and it just is more comfortable. I have taken and used, this is like, you get this thread, this is a Coates thread, sewing thread. You get it from Walmart or somewhere like that, a big box store, and it tears up your hands. I don't know if you can see, my fingers. It just using that thread has just tore up my fingers and tore up my hands. So I backed off and using that, and that was just because I couldn't get my regular size and regular colors of the Danaville wax thread in. So I had to, you can't just stop production. So I had to go with what I could get, what was readily available to me, and local and so forth. So just add more white. Like I said, I'm just building up around the hook. Some of the questions I get is, what hooks do you use? And a lot of times that's based on the color of the customer. But we do carry all the variety of big name hooks like BMC, Mustad, Eagle Claw. We do some owner hooks and Daiichi. I'm trying to think of what other ones we do. Dairiki? Yep, we do some Dairiki hooks in our fly tying. And I think it might be Gamakatsu. Yep, we do Gamakatsu. Now, to be quite honest, those higher end brand name hooks like Gamakatsu and Owner, we don't carry a whole lot of them, so we don't keep those in stock. So if a person's calling and asking to put an order in, just be aware that those hooks may take a little bit longer because we just order those. There's a certain stream of I like that, certain stream of fishermen. There's certain amount of fishermen that just really have to have those type of hooks, and that's great, that's wonderful, but we like to cater to them, but we just have to be upfront and tell people, or tell customers that we can't carry the dollar a piece hooks, before we even tie them all the time. We'd like to, but we don't. So mostly we keep around the Mustad, the BMC, and Eagle Claw hooks. And like I always say, I mean, if you got a question, just feel free to ask. Just, hey, what are these hooks tied on, or what is this fur tied on? What hook are you using to make this? And I'll be happy to ask, or happy to answer your questions that you ask, and kind of go from there. So that's pretty much it. This is pretty easy. Like I said, just building up a bunch of bucktail teasers. This is going to customers that like to fish in the saltwater community, East Coast. So if you're East Coast fishermen, this is the colors that they're using. It seems to be. We get a lot of calls and a lot of purchases from the East Coast. Not so much right now in November, but we do come springtime, around April, May, June. We always love the East Coast fishermen. Just tightening that down. Really try and keep that back off that eye, as you can see. And then I just wrap it, and I'm pulling down tension on the bobbin as I'm building that thread up. Man, the rain is coming down today, and you hear the plump plump and plop plop and stuff going down down and around. Just doing a double check on the audio for the stream. Sounds like it's coming out okay. Time to get the juice. Not a sponsor. All right. So it's always good to double check your work. Hopefully I didn't bore anybody with that long silence, but like I said, if you're joining me in this video, this is what I'm calling the daily fly tying bench diary. My goal is to do these every day, kind of be more active with the channel, and it may not always be fly tying or anything like that, but it could be something as simple as like how to make a fishing lure, or talking about deer hair, or some hooks or something like that. So I appreciate, like I said, the time that you're taking out of your day to kind of view these long format type videos. And like I said, I'm gonna try and attempt to do this every day, just to become more familiar with the streaming process, and kind of share, like I said, a little bit of the products that we make here at Village Tackle, and yeah, it's pretty much it. So I don't have a time and schedule down yet to when I'll be doing these, like every day or even a couple days a week. Like I said, I'm still trying to work that out, but definitely stay tuned to what's to come from me and this channel. So if you're just bouncing in, my name is Nicholas, and I am the owner and operator of Village Tackle. We not only do our own products, make our own products, so fly tying, dressed furry hooks, but we also own and operate 24-hour live bait and tackle vending machines. And you can always find out more information about us on the internet by going to villagetackle.com, and you can see all the fancy gizmos and gadgets that we have. And what we do is a micro bait and tackle shop owners here in northern Michigan. And I'm always willing to share information about the process and the journey of becoming a live bait and tackle vending operator, and the funds and the ups and downs, and the funds and the not so funds of the business. So you can always reach out to me. Be happy to give you some ideas, guidance, and assistance. But I can say that it is a journey, that is for sure. So basically what happens is I tie these in packs of 20, and it's just 20 is a good number for me. It breaks up the monotony and the stress of overwhelming and everything. If you have like an order of like 100 hooks, if you have 100 hooks sitting there, it just never seems like it's going to end. So one of the mind games that I found that I can play with myself is, that really didn't sound right. But anyways, one of the tricks of my mind, I found that if I can break things down to sets of 20, it doesn't seem overwhelming and doesn't seem overpowering to account down the process, so it seems more manageable and not so overwhelming. Because hey, I mean, you gotta love what you do, right? So why add that extra stress? Boy, I'm just keep hearing all this tip and tapping on the air conditioner outside in the window. It's just like, ugh. Today in northern Michigan, this is, like I said, November 15th, 2017, and it's always been on November 15th that we have opening day of deer season. So if you're a deer hunter and you're in northern Michigan and you're watching this and all that good stuff, hey, happy hunting to you. Sounds like it's a wet and dirty and treacherous one. And hopefully the big bucks will come in and give you an opportunity to put some meat in the freezer, if you will. I know our family, I'm not a hunter, but in our family my son is. So he is out enjoying the morning afternoon hunt of today with him. So or with my father-in-law and his father-in-law, my wife's dad and my wife's grandpa. So it's always good to see that generational opportunity continue on. I often wish I had become a hunter, but I don't know. I never really seen the point in. This is gonna be kind of counterintuitive, I think it is, but probably not make sense. But I never seen a point in going out in the woods and just sitting there and trying to be quiet. You know, it just didn't always appeal to me. And I guess, I mean, if you're raised in doing that, like my son has been, thanks to my lovely father-in-law, then that's one thing. But I wasn't raised that way, so that is okay. But I was raised to enjoy fishing when I get a chance to enjoy it. And there's always something in nature for somebody. I just broke my thread, so what I have to do is I have to thread that in there. There we go. It's always a pain when I break it. Because it just seems like it takes so much longer to try and spool it back on and stuff, and then you got to go back over top of your wraps. So the goal is to not try and break it as often, right? Like, oh, see, it just kind of sucked itself down on the eye. There we go. Do a little hand whip finish and come up underneath there. And then I got that extra thread. So I encourage anybody that's looking at doing this, you know, from, you know, maybe a hobby to actually making a living at doing it like I have, to find steps and processes that take a production level and makes it fun. Because I can tell you, you can burn out quickly if you don't find a way to make it enjoyable. So one of the ways that I have done that is, one, I try and push how much I can do in a day, or like in this case, you know, just sharing what it's like, you know, what the opportunity is out there. Probably in some cases it just sounds like I'm rambling on. Feels like I am. But hopefully you'll get something out of it. Like I said, the end goal is to spend a little bit of time just creating these furry hooks. Share with you, my fellow YouTube subscribers. Broke the thread again. Some of the tips and tricks that I go through in creating people's orders. And if you're a customer watching this video, hey, thank you so much for being my customer. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And hopefully we can be here to serve you for a very long time. So like I said, I just broke that thread again. So that kind of tells me that there's a bad spot in the thread, or it did feel like the thread was, or the spool is pulling hard on my bobbin. So I just put a little bit of this paper shredder oil. Let's see. Get it at the big old Walmarts. And so what I do is I put it inside my spool, right in there. Just a couple little drops, nothing major, nothing over extravagant. Just a small little bit, and it flows through my hand a lot better, and doesn't put a whole lot of strain on that thread. So I'm still able to control it in my hand, kind of like right here. So that's basically what I'm doing is I'm controlling the spool with inside my hand. If you're curious to know that, let's put a little flash on there. I'm really excited about getting ready to use that Krennic flash because they'll sell it on a bigger cone, so we don't get so much fall off the bench here and onto the floor, which is just like a pain. Suck it up in the vacuum cleaner, and you see all this sparkly stuff when you go to empty it out, and you're like, oh, wow, that was a lot of flash on the floor. Oh. So as you see, I'm just building my thread base up on the thread. Just a sec here, I'm gonna change this over real quick. Just double check the stream. And there we go. Okay. So everything is looking good. But anyways, I build up the thread on the hook. And then, like I said, I'm just adding in the white on top and on the bottom. See that there? Put a little bit of chartreuse on top of that. There we go. Whoop. There we go. Sometimes the thread wants to like bounce off itself. When I say bounce off itself, it's getting caught up on that little lump there, but you know, once we epoxy that in there, glue that up, you won't even notice it. And like I said earlier, if you followed this far in the video, I basically tie all my hooks up all at once, do one big bulk batch of different colors, different, you know, packs and stuff, and then I'll sit down and glue them individually. So if you're seeing that they're not glued right now, don't worry, they will be glued down the road. There's nothing worse than having thread unravel on your fishing trip or fishing experience, and just kind of ruins that bond between you and the fish and catching the fish and keep catching the fish. If that made any sense. Basically, if the fur falls off in the first cast, what was the point of going fishing, right? Unless you're kind of like me and you like to take a fishing buddy and just sit around and cast and chat and cast and chat. So nothing wrong with that. Would that be like a socialized fisherman? Socializing fishing? Maybe. Maybe. There we go. I feel like there should be like some background music to this process. Maybe I'll have to double check to see what I can do to incorporate that down the road with these videos. Guess I could always sing to it, right? Like maybe it'd be be a little more exciting, a little more adventurous, but I don't know. Who knows? Da, 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 da. Do, 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 do. Let's see. I'd like to see how long I've been streaming. It does appear to be 40 minutes, so that's a pretty good time. Pretty good time. If you don't mind, hit that like button, hit that share button. I should have said this earlier. It really, really would help out. I really appreciate if you do that. And kind of help me boost the rankings of my video and get the word out. So there we have it. Let's see, we got 2, 4, 5 more to go, and that's my pack of 20 for these. These are going to Delaware. I have a eBay customer that he seems to be pretty frequent in purchasing from us, so really appreciate you, Mr. Delaware customer. If you think that's you and you're watching this video, leave a comment below. I'd love to know what you're catching out there this time of season. Maybe you're just making rigs up for the upcoming fluke and flounder season, or maybe you're actually out there fishing right now. But and even if you're not from Delaware, like I said, go ahead and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you're catching, and tell me what you're catching your stuff on. Your favorite colors, your favorite lures, your favorite ways of fishing. I mean, it's pretty well open game at this point. Let's see, 2, 4 more to go, and that will end our stream for the day. If you're, like I said, just pop it in. I apologize if you've been making comments and you know, in the chat. I don't have the chat up and running for me to see, so I'll have to figure that out the next time around, or maybe next couple times around. But like I said, I'm looking at trying to do this every day and just kind of document the process, teach people a little bit about, you know, how we when I say we, you know, us as a family, because I do contribute to the family, how I do this full time, and the enjoyments that I have in doing it. So you gotta love what you do, right? Because if you don't, well, kind of makes for a bad day. Nobody likes a bad day, at least in my opinion. Unless you do. If you do like a bad day, I guess. Definitely not for me. Oh, I'm getting right down to the end of my thread on this spool. I got 3 more after this one, or 2 more after this one. This is number 3. So I don't know how many does that make in a minute. I usually like to try and I wish I could time myself. Do like a one a minute of these furry hooks, but I don't know if it actually works out to that. It might actually be like closer to 2 hooks a minute. But I do know that I can only personally do about 800 hooks a day, and that's a 12-hour day for me, which is quite a bit. I always try to do more, but when you start doing that, it kind of hurts your quality of life. And let's see, I ran out of thread, so I need to grab some more over here. We got to go on. There we go. Perfect. Put that in there. Excuse me. I tell you what, when you sit down and do a ton of these, your eyesight just seems to always, at least mine is anyway, is always like fluttering back and forth. So I'm sure I'll be at bifocal level glasses before no time. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Oh yes, number 2 and 1 more left after this one, and then like I said, we'll call that a day, or call that a stream rather. Oh, you see what I did there? I didn't put my white on there first. That's okay. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Fish don't care. Fish don't care. They don't care what you put on first. Nope. I like putting the white on first and building up the white around it because I just think it gives a little bit more nicer bulk. I know some fishermen don't care for that, but you know they're always willing to tell me if they do or don't. So it's all fine. Last one, my friends. We worked through that together. Quick, fast, easy. There we have it. Get this in there. Again, I appreciate all that you folks are doing, taking your time if you're watching this video. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to all the places that you can contact us or contact me at. One of them is on our website, villagetackle.com, as well as you can go to dresshooks.com. Contact me or us through there. Facebook, I'm trying to be more active in our Facebook page, Village Tackle. And yeah, pretty much just Google or check us out and try and find us through Village Tackle. My name is Nicholas, and I appreciate everything that you do. Yes, if you're a customer or if you're just a viewer, or yeah, I just appreciate you. So that's it. Number 20 of the white and chartreuse saltwater teaser fly there. I gotta turn that around. There you go. So, all right. Have a good day, and thank you again so much. See you again soon.